Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new and you've never seen one of my videos, my name is Andrea. I film videos all about cruelty-free beauty products, and today's video is going to be my project pan intro for 2019. I've done a project pan over the past few years and I think it's so much fun. I've really enjoyed it and it has definitely taught me about makeup. Like every single year I learn something new about how long it takes to use up products, what I do and don't like. It gives me insight into my makeup collection and my purchasing habits, and I really enjoy it. So for 2019, I've kind of taken what I've learned from the previous years and I've chosen these products very intentionally. I'm definitely not a minimalist when it comes to my makeup collection by any means, but I have been trying to be more aware of my purchasing habits. And that's not to say that I won't purchase new makeup, because I definitely will, but I just want to be more intentional about my makeup purchases and not necessarily grab every single new product on the market or constantly add products to my collection without thinking them through. Okay, my camera died, so I totally lost my train of thought. I don't know if I already mentioned this, but it is a rolling project pan. So I'm starting off with 11 products and I'm going to add products to my project pan as I go throughout the year. So I'll keep you guys updated in my update videos, but I think this will be a good way rather than choosing a bunch of products at the start, because I'll kind of reevaluate my collection every few months and see what I need to add to my project pan, whether a product is getting old or it's going to expire soon, or I just feel like I need to focus on using something up in my collection. So I broke this into two categories. The first category includes products that I want to use up before I purchase a similar product. So for example, I have a bronzer and I want to make sure I use up this bronzer before I purchase another bronzer at all. And this will just help me put a dent in my makeup collection. I do not need to go out and purchase additional products in these categories until I start using up some of the products in my collection. So I have 5 products in this category. The first one is the Becca Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Capri Coast. I actually purchased this at the beginning of 2018 because I had this product in my collection and I used it up and it was my favorite. So instead of using something else in my collection, I ran out and repurchased it, and I actually fell in love with another bronzer. So I hadn't really touched this until maybe like the last month. It's pretty much brand new and I do love this bronzer and I want to make sure I actually use it up because I spent, what is it, like $38 on it, and I love it, and I don't want it to just sit in my collection while I run out and buy another brand new bronzer when I already have one in my collection that I know that I love. So I am looking forward to getting a lot of use out of this. I also won't be purchasing any face primers this year until I finish up these two. So I chose a moisturizing primer and a mattifying primer. I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which is my favorite, my go-to. I'm about halfway through with this one, and it's not that I'm in a rush to finish this up because it is one of my favorite products, but I mostly use this one anyways. And I also chose the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. I have these two in my collection. I think they will be great for everyday wear because if I want a more matte look, I can use the Fenty. A more moisturized look, I can use the Smashbox Primerizer. And I just need to use what I have. I have a lot of primers. I have something that will work for me no matter what type of makeup look I'm going for. So it's just going to give me the chance to take a break on trying a bunch of new primers and focus on using what I have. I also chose 2 different eyeliners. So I don't really switch up my liquid liners too much these days because in 2018, I discovered that I really have 2 favorites. The first one is the Tarte Maneater liquid liner, which is like my go-to. It's my favorite. It's a little bit more expensive, but I do think it just glides on the eyes really beautifully and stays in place pretty well. And I also like the NYX Epic Ink Liner. This one does a great job too, and I wouldn't say that I run out and purchase like a bunch of liquid liners, but liquid liners last me a very long time. So I want to make sure that I use up the 2 that I have in my collection before I even spend money on another one, because I usually end up reaching for these 2 anyways. So I'll finish these up and then I'll kind of see where I'm at, whether I want to use another one in my collection or try something new, but I do want to finish these 2 up. Okay, so my second category includes 6 different makeup products. And the main reason why I love doing project pans is because it reminds me how long it actually takes to use up products. I chose products in these categories just to keep reminding myself that it does take a long time to use them up. So when I'm shopping, I can really think critically about whether or not I need to add additional products from these categories to my collection. Okay, so the first thing is the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation. It's been a long time since I've used this foundation regularly. I tried using it the other day and I did still enjoy it. I think it went on really beautifully, but these days I usually reach for something a little bit lighter. That being said, this is in my collection, and because I do enjoy the formula, I want to try to use it up because I did spend almost $40 on it. I enjoy it, so if I do enjoy it, I just want to make an effort to finish it up and see how it goes. I also chose the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer, which is somewhat similar to the foundation, but it is a concealer. And I've had this in my collection. I don't know if this is the right shade for me. I would say I'm probably halfway through this product, and I usually use the Too Faced Born This Way Full Coverage Concealer. So I just wanted to make an effort to finish one up and just make a dent in my collection. I've had this one for a while, and if I still enjoy the formula, I will definitely try to finish it up before it expires, before it goes bad, because I have had it for a while. And it's always a good reminder that concealer seems to last a pretty long time, so I don't really need to add every single new concealer to my collection, especially because there are so many new concealers coming out. Like at the beginning of the year, there were so many concealers announced, and I'm not saying I won't try any of them, but I definitely don't need to try all of them because it takes a while to use just even one up. Okay, so for such a long time, I couldn't decide if I enjoyed the Laura Geller Baked Balance-n-Brighten foundation in the shade Fair. I went back and forth on this, and it was in so many like everyday makeup drawer videos. It was probably in like a chopping block video, and I finally decided that I do like this. I actually will wear it on its own if I'm not in the mood to wear liquid foundation, but I'll also use it to set more of like a lightweight foundation into place, and it just keeps my skin matte throughout the day. So I kind of just want to challenge myself to see if I can use this up. This product comes with 0.32 ounces, which isn't a significantly large amount, but for some reason this powder has lasted so long in my collection. So at this point, I kind of just want to challenge myself to see if I can use it up. And it's kind of nice that I'm putting it in my project pan, because if I don't know what powder to use that day, I'll just reach for this one and try to make an effort to actually finish it up. So in 2018, I actually tried to use up an entire full-sized gloss, and it made me realize that lip gloss and just lip products in general seem to last forever for me. So it really influenced my purchasing habits, because I really didn't add too many lip products to my collection in 2018, which is the whole purpose of a project pan, other than it being fun for me. So anyways, this year I'm going to try to finish up this mini lip gloss. I definitely think I'll be able to do it because it is one of my favorites. And I don't know, I kind of want to challenge myself to use up another gloss, because lip products are so hard for me to finish. And it's just a good reminder of how long it takes to use up a lip product. I'm actually going to try to finish up a blush this year. I don't think I included a blush or a highlighter in my project pan last year, or even maybe the year before, because cheek products are really hard for me to use up, but I'm going to give it my best effort. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Mood Exposure. It is a mini blush, so I do feel like if I'm going to be able to do it, I'm going to be able to do it with a mini blush. It comes with 0.04 ounces, which is such a small amount, especially because I do like the Hourglass formula so much. And a lot of people say the mini products aren't worth it when you break it down per ounce. So honestly, I'm just really curious to see how long this will last, because if it does last a good amount of time, I think from now on I'll just try to stick with purchasing mini Hourglass products. And the last product in my project pan is an eyeshadow palette. It's been years since I've tried to use up an eyeshadow palette, but I think for this one in particular, I'm just going to try to hit pan on a lot of the shades. I did do it a few years ago with my Lorac Pro To Go palette, and I pretty much used up the entire thing, and I was so proud of my progress. I kind of just did it for fun, but in 2018, I purchased and I tried a ridiculous amount of eyeshadow palettes. It was like 60 or 70. It was so ridiculous, and I have to go through and declutter my collection, because at this point, there are just so many, I'll never use them, and I don't purchase palettes with the intention of using them up because they're eyeshadow palettes. That would be so difficult. And I love eyeshadow palettes, so I think it's okay to purchase palettes because they do bring me joy, or they do spark joy, as Marie Kondo would say. Are you guys watching that series on Netflix? My husband and I just started it, and we are addicted. I read what is that book called? The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. I read that a few years ago, and I think if something as simple as an eyeshadow palette brings you joy and brings you happiness, then it's totally okay to have more than one. But what I've learned through project pans is that when I do try to use up products, it really just subconsciously influences my makeup purchases in the future. So if I'm using up an eyeshadow palette and I realize how long it takes to use one up, then it will just remind me that I don't need to purchase so many palettes. So anyways, I chose the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Shade Eyeshadow Palette in Golden Natural. I think this one's going to be a good option to try to use up because the formula is lightweight. So it's not the type of palette where it seems to be never ending. I already have a pretty significant pan on this shade right here. And I like this palette as like a good go-to palette. It's just great for every day, where lately I've been wearing like one shade in the crease and then placing one shade all over the lid. And this palette is perfect for that. So I don't think it's going to be a struggle to try to use this palette fairly often. And I do have other palettes in my collection and I don't want to neglect those, but at the same time, I think it will be fun just to have like a good go-to palette that I'm trying to hit pan on. It doesn't mean I won't use what I already have or those palettes will go to waste. It's just like a fun challenge and a good reminder of how long it takes to actually hit pan on an eyeshadow palette. So I definitely encourage you guys to try one if you haven't already. It doesn't have to be large. You can choose like 4 products, you can choose 14 products. It doesn't matter. I just think it's really fun and you just learn a lot at the same time. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.